Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is God Your Blood Trader. Here in this video, I want to talk about why is it important to backtest and forward test your strategy before using it. So as a newbie, this is what I want to tell you why it's very important for you to always backtest and forward test your strategy before using it, because some newbie, you as a beginner or as a newbie, maybe you saw someone posting a profit, said he or she is using SMC or price action or supply and demand to make those profits. So you as a newbie, you just want to fall into that same strategy that that person is using without back testing and forward testing to see the strategy if it definitely gonna work for you before start using it. So this is what you need to know why it's important for you to back test. Number one, why backtesting the strategy? To verify if the strategy actually works before risking your money. So that's number one thing you need to know when backtesting, to verify if that strategy really works. Not that because someone posts profits is using that profit to show you, oh, this is the profit I made through SMC, or this is the profit I made through supply and demand, and you now start using supply and demand and abandon your own strategy. Maybe you were using price action or you were using trend line because someone showed you profit of price of support and resistance and SMC, and you now abandon your own strategy and start using his own strategy. So you need to backtest the strategy to know if it actually worked, to verify if that strategy actually works. That's number one. Then number two, you need to understand the win rates, understand the win rates of that strategy, the risk to reward of that strategy, and the drawdown of the strategy. That's what you need to also understand. You need to understand the win rate, the risk to reward, and the drawdown of that strategy when backtesting that strategy. So that's another thing you need to understand. Meanwhile, another thing you also need to understand is to see if the strategy, how the strategy behave in different market conditions, is to see how the strategy definitely behave in different market conditions. Maybe when the market is trending, or when the market is ranging, or when the market is on a downtrend or consolidating or volatile. That's when you need to understand, okay, this strategy, it definitely works best in a ranging market, or it definitely works best in a reversal market, or it definitely works best in a consolidation market. So you need to understand that when backtesting. And another thing you also need to understand is to build confidence. So you build confidence with that strategy, you build confidence with it, so that even though you take losses, or when you're building confidence, you don't need to abandon your strategy and start taking trade based on emotion. When you take losses, even though you take losses based on the confidence that you've built, you know what your strategy can do. So it will allow you, even though you're taking losses, it will allow you to know what you're doing without panicking or going and start trading out of emotions. So that's another thing you need to understand. And which of the thing else you need to understand before using the strategy, you need to backtest it, to remove emotional bias. All those emotional bias in you that, oh, I just want to take trade, or you're trading based on what you're feeling, based on what your emotion is telling you. Okay, your emotion is telling you, okay, this is the time for you to buy, or this is the time for you to sell, and you're clicking buy or sell based on your emotions. You're not trading what you're seeing on the charts, you're actually trading your emotions. So when backtesting, this will help you to remove those emotional bias, not what you're feeling, not what you're feeling in yourself, or not what your emotion is telling you. You're trading based on data, based on the data, based on the chart, what the chart is actually doing. That's what you're trading based on the data. So that's what you need to understand when trading. Before trading, you need to backtest your strategy. Then in forward testing, one thing you also need before start trading, not you just use random strategy without backtesting or forward testing. In forward testing, you need to confirm the strategy if it still work in current market conditions. If that strategy that you want to use after backtesting, you need to forward test it if that strategy is currently working in the current market conditions. So that's another thing you need to know. And the second thing which you need to know in forward testing as well is to test execution issue, to test if you execute this strategy. Okay, this strategy you want to use, if you execute it at this so point, how is it going to react? you you check it based on the flip, based on the based on the spread. I don't know, though it depends on your brokers. Based on the spread, okay, I need to enter this trade one ahead, or I need to enter this trade, at least give it 2 pips before I enter, or take it down before I enter. You need to understand the spread condition of the strategy as well, and not emotion and the slippage. So this is what you need to also understand. And in forward testing, it will also help you, another thing, to build real trading discipline, to build discipline in yourself. It will help you to build discipline in forward testing. Okay, this is what I need to know. Whenever the market is at so point, I need to wait for it to come to my point of interest. You need to patiently wait. You don't wait, you don't rush it, you don't rush, you don't trade out of FOMO. You discipline yourself and make sure you follow the strategy, you follow your plans as well. And another thing in forward testing, you need to gain psychological readiness, to before scaling up your strategy, or before scaling up your accounts. Those are the things which you need to understand before you start trading or start using any strategy as a newbie. So you need to understand that before you start using any strategy, you need to backtest and also forward test. That's why it's important to also backtest and forward test your strategy before you start using it. So this is what you need to understand. If you're a newbie or an advanced trader, so you need to understand this as well before start using any strategy. Not because someone posts profit and shows you that is using some strategy, and you start using the strategy as well without backtesting or forward testing. So make sure you follow me if you know you're not following me, for more content like this. And also like this video, share it to others to also learn from it. Peace and love. Thanks.